Several of our local lawmakers are reflecting today on last year's events.
News 8's Shannon Handy joins us live now from the Embarcadero with that part of the story. Shannon, a bad day for a lot of people.
Yeah, Carlo and Marcella, even now a year later, that day is still very vivid in the minds of those who were there. We heard from Democratic Representatives Sarah Jacobs and Juan Vargas. Jacobs was stuck in the House gallery at the time. Vargas was holed up in his office. And here's just some of what they remember from that day. Take a listen.
They told us to take our gas masks out and to hide under the chairs. We could hear the rioters, the mob, banging on the doors behind us. I'll never forget the sound of the buzzing of the gas masks, of the doors being closed and locked. It was my fourth day, so I was under the chair introducing myself to my new colleagues, many of whom I had never met before, as we were going through this traumatic experience.
And when they decided to burst through into the Capitol, I thought, this is combat. We could easily be killed. Let's defend ourselves. And so I told my staff, I said, listen, you guys have 2 seconds to get out of here either, or to stay. If you stay, I'm fighting. I'm not going to leave. I'm going to stay here and I'm going to vote tonight at some point. And they said, no, we want to stay. I said, okay, well, get the axes off the wall. We were given 2 axes by the San Diego firefighters here when I left. I said, get them off the wall. Take them off their mounts. We're going to have to defend ourselves. These people have guns. They have rifles. They have, bats. They have weapons. We don't have anything. So anything you can find.
Both were holed up for hours and say it could have been so much worse. Fast forward a year later, they tell News 8 security has been heightened at the Capitol with more officers and barricades than ever before. As for other changes, they both acknowledge that day divided the country even more, which is why they say protecting upcoming elections and our democracy is crucial.
I believe that January 6th was the beginning, not the end of something. And I am concerned about the continued concerted effort to overturn the will of the people.
We have to make sure that our democracy works. If democracy doesn't work, nothing works. In other words, if we're fighting about who really won, oh, you didn't really win, or I didn't really win, we can't get anything done because there's no legitimacy to who we are in office and our positions.
Being debated is whether.
And also today we heard from Republican Congressman Darrell Issa. He said in part that was a difficult day to be in the Capitol, but the weeks and months that followed have been devastating for the nation. Today is an ideal occasion to reflect on that fact. He went on to talk about joblessness and the Biden administration losing control of our southern borders, as well as what he calls a deadly and humiliating exit from Afghanistan. So clearly still a lot of division as it relates to not only the Capitol riot that day, but several other issues as well. Marcella and Carlo.
I know some concern about security for this one-year mark. Did the lawmakers talk about any credible threats this year to the Capitol?
Yeah, Marcella, Natalie Brand mentioned this before me, and when I spoke with Representative Vargas, he said that all the lawmakers were warned of some threats that were made on this day, so of course they were on high alert. Now, whether or not any of those were official threats where the Capitol Police actually thought something was happening, they just don't know, but of course they were on high alert today. So in addition to the added security that's been there since this happened a year ago, today there was even more security at the Capitol.
And at this point so far, nothing eventful has happened, and we'll hope that the day continues that way. Shannon Handy reporting live on the local angle of 1/6. Thanks, Shannon.